to keep efficient operations?
Efficient operation by town employees, that's a strength.
Okay.
May I just interject something here? There's no doubt that our employees work with little. And they do a spectacular job, so in that sense, it's a strength. But have we ever had a study done to verify whether the way we function as a town is efficient and is optimal? Have we ever done that? So, and if we haven't done that, then would we really know the answer to that question? I'm just being a devil's advocate here on that. Do we really know the answer to that
I
question?
think Bob kind of led us down the road a few minutes ago when he said, you know, this executive summary I wrote, when you look at the trend data and you do look at the amount of employees we had in 2000 and just in 2000 versus what we have in 2010, it's probably not much different. But when you look at the growth of the town, how many residents we had back in 2000 versus 2010, it's such a significant growth. And we did it with the same amount of people. Maybe some slight changes.
Right.
We have made some efficiencies through technology and things like that, but the town has grown so much. And that's, to me, a testimonial to support that we do have some efficient operations. We have some. Do we have some that are inefficient? Absolutely, we do. And I think that people out here in town hall will tell you, you know what? They do have some inefficient operations, but we haven't given them the tools either.
Yeah,
And that's
well,
what
that-
this strategic plan will help us do, provide those tools they need to be efficient.
That's what it is trying to get my thought process going here. We're talking about the employees are efficient here. We're not saying that the town is efficient, and that could be two different things when you look at this.
Given the tools that they have.
Right, I agree,
They do an efficient
I agree,
job.
I mean, I agree, you know,
Provide guidance and direction and
when
policies.
I think of information.
Doesn't mean we can't do a better job.
Yeah, when I think of
course.
information systems, you know, being, needing more to work with, okay? When I think of that, we have a fine person who's doing a great job with very little to work with. So are we, as a town government, efficient? And are we, for lack of better, are we handicapping our great employees because they don't have the tools to work with? I mean, so we have a strength, we have great employees, so maybe that's what it should say, our strength is our employees. But are we functioning efficiently, operationally, with the tools that we have?
It's a yes/no answer, in my,
Yeah.
this is my opinion, it's a yes/no answer. In some areas we are.
Yeah.
In some areas we're not. In some of it's because we don't have the technology or the money
Right.
to give them the
Right.
tools they need to be more efficient. It may be just this infrastructure they're working in. Look at this building.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, I don't-
But Jeff, the thing is, if you look at the data, and that's why we wrote up this executive summary, to put some trend data out there to really show, maybe we're not efficient, but you know what? It's actually showing that we are efficient.
yeah,
We've been able to do it with the minimal staffing.
all right. Yeah,
Excluding of the schools, by the way, okay? Because I don't have the school numbers in here, so I can't speak for the school
Right.
piece, but we're gonna tie that all in.
Right.
But I hope
Okay.
if you give this a chance and we try to build this and we get that trend data out, I think we're gonna go right where you wanna go,
Okay,
okay? We good? I did throw in a couple words in here at the end on this bullet, on the community involvement, and I just want to throw in the generosity, because even a few weeks ago, we had somebody donate a piece of equipment for the fire department, which, you know, again, the generosity in this town is just unbelievable. You know, the Anna Jones Circle of Friends and things like that. I don't think, we should capture that, it's a huge strand, and I also throw in the activism. We have people now going to the State House on a routine basis. That's part of that activism stuff, and I love it. I'm not saying you should agree with it, that's debatable, it's up to you guys, but I threw it in there, we could strike it if you want to.
I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
Okay?
Let's move on.
Weakness. No one else gave me comments except for Jeff here, so I'll just start with mine at the top. And I think one of the weaknesses in our town, we talk about it a lot, is the fees. We have a lot of fees in town. I think we should consider putting it on this weakness list along with the high taxes. I think we have high taxes. And that may be debatable as it is. So we can start with that bullet and work our way down.
How do you measure, when you make a comment about high fees, right?
Okay?
What are you measuring them against?
If you look at what's going on in the schools, and all the things that the people have to pay for to send their kids to school here, outside of their taxes, it seems to be significant. That's what I'm using. If you want to participate in a sport in town here,
I
But
think,
if you-
I
if
think
you
we
pay
have
those
to,
fees, your
I-
taxes would be high.
yeah, but I also think, Michael, we have to separate the schools from this strategic plan, right?
okay, that's, I'll just respectfully disagree with you.
Okay, and the reason why I say that is, first of all, there's an elected board that's responsible for the schools. That doesn't mean we work together with them, and that we, as part of our plan, help to, you know, share resources,
Yeah,
deal with the contractual issues on a more uniform basis and all that. I don't disagree with any of that. But the way I look at the fees that I think about are the town fees, right?
mm-hmm,
And those fees are related to a service that's provided. So before I'm willing to say the fees are high, I want to compare them to what the individuals get, what service they get for those fees, and how that compares to our surrounding communities. I just don't think we can go off and say the fees are too high. Now, I understand if you're talking about the school and you say, it may not be that the athletic fee is too high, it may be more of an issue of why isn't that part of the overall curriculum and there shouldn't be a fee for that.
but that was just one example. I mean, there's other fees that are not school-related. Even our sport fees for the town. Again, we're talking about our overall town and the impacts on it. Okay, all of them add up. You got trash fees. You have all these other fees associated in town. There's just a lot of fees. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, but I look at it as a fee is you're paying for a service, right?
Yeah,
And I suppose you could say, well, all the fees ought to be part of the tax rate, but we know that doesn't work, right? So I have to look at the value of the fee. The fee that I pay, did I get my money's worth out of it? Right? And are we competitive with our surrounding communities? I guess that's how I look at it.
it's really not a big deal to really debate it. Either weakness or not, I think it is. The board majority don't believe it is, we'll strike it. I will argue with you all day long, we pay high taxes. I pay high taxes to live in this town. And that's my opinion. It's why one of the reasons why I ran for select. And it's one of the reasons why I'm pushing to do the strategic plan. So we may potentially have, maybe our taxes may not go down, but they hopefully will level off. That's why we're trying to do all this, isn't it?
And if I may, when you look at this, it's a perspective, looking at high taxes and fees. It really is simply a perspective. We put it up there as a weakness right now. As we deliberate more, we may find that maybe the fees aren't too high, maybe the taxes aren't too high. I don't know.
Then we
I
should
tend-
strike it.
I
If
tend to
we don't all
agree.
agree it's a weakness, then we should strike it. It shouldn't be a Mike Prisco document, it shouldn't be a Mike Prisco page. If we as a board majority feel that that's an important bullet, then let's keep it on there.
But are you looking at this moment as a final description of our weaknesses?
Yes, because we gotta move on. And maybe next year when we revisit this, we'll add some and we'll take some away. But to get out of the gate, we need to just narrow down what our weaknesses, what we believe are in the majority of the board, and let's move on. Let's start getting some work done.
I'd have no problem with
But
that,
I
Mike.
think the high taxes and fees are covered under the unfunded state and federal mandates and structural revenue shortage. That's what causes your high taxes and fees. Because we have a structural
Combined.
revenue shortage or a structural, I mean, we have a problem with getting enough revenue in order to maintain the current level of services without hitting the property, residential property tax owners with
Fees.
fees in order to fund it. And again, we have to make choices as to whether or not we're gonna deliver these services or do away with it. Or take them out of the tax revenue and put them into the fee structure like we do with the trash, you know? So I mean, high taxes and fees, you're gonna get everybody thinks they pay too much in the way taxes. Everybody thinks they pay too much in the way fees, for the most part.
Okay.
You know, so it's, but overall, I think people get a pretty good bang for their buck for what they get in the way of services in public education, public safety, and public health. You know, the only way we're going to, and again, what we're working towards here, again, is to change that structure for the commercial tax base so that the residential homeowners will pay less. I don't see it as inherent weakness. I think it's just the cost of doing business and the level of services that we currently enjoy. There's a cost associated with it. You know, and we're saying we're pretty efficient in delivering it. We're saying that we're not, you know, overpaying people necessarily. We're not spending crazily.
We don't have to debate it,
So
we just make a
therefore-
decision and move on. I don't want to debate it, honestly.
Well,
I just, let's make a decision,
Okay, I see what you're thinking of.
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
Majority of the board?
Yeah, for now.
Okay,
For now.
let's take it up, let's move on. Next one, I just threw in some words because I thought they were missing, but we don't have to put them in. Originally, it wrote, inability to communicate to residents to gain support on key issues. I threw in the words effectively and in order to, just to kind of clean it up and make it sound a little better. We can have it the old way, or we can just incorporate those words. No problem?
Good.
All right, next one is down to Jeff. Jeff, you want to delete the lack of a labor strategy consensus.
Right, I think that, we're at the point where we are working on that right now, so we are developing a consensus right now. So since we're working on it, I don't know if it's a weakness now, because it's part of what we're doing.
I still see it as a weekness.
It's a
I don't
weakness.
think, we're not there yet.
I think it's still current weakness, Jeff, because we have been unable to develop a labor strategy for both here and the school side. Currently, where everybody's on the same page. We haven't been able to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's been through a lack of effort. I've been on
Right.
since 1988, we're trying to do it.
Okay,
But it's still a weakness.
all right.
On the left-hand side, the last bullet, divided loyalties. I just threw a question mark down, like, I went through my notes, and I'm not sure
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
sure.
not sure. I
what
have
we
one
meant.
idea, but I'm not really sure what that meant.
You guys okay with deleting it?
No, I
Did it have to do with
It
management?
must have made sense then,
Staff.
but it doesn't now. Huh?
My only thought was, it was a management and staff issue. Thought it tied back into that.
I remember that, yes.
I think that's why it was there, and we saw it as a weakness.
Yeah, I leave it there.
Okay,
Say it again?
we're gonna leave it there.
Yeah, but maybe we should clarify what the divided loyalty is.
It's
because
got to
you had
do with-
jog my memory.
It's got to do with the promotion of fire, police, and then the issue of divided loyalties.
All right,
What?
I think it sounds very good.
well, for the record, I don't think it adds any value to what we're doing, but if you guys wanna keep it in there, we can, but I think we should delete it.
Well, it's a weakness in certain times.
Yeah.
At certain times, it's a
Right.
tremendous weakness.
Okay, I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but
All
I'm
right,
not so sure it's suitable
Next.
for this topic. On the right-hand side, about halfway down, I threw in this other bullet because I consistently were driving up and down Route 28, and I see the inconsistencies of how you can be, 2 miles in one direction and see organization, even in other towns that are along 28, or a state highway. They're organized, they're all the same, they're clean, they're neat, and you come through North Reading and there's a mash of different structures and setups, and I think it is a weakness for us. And I think as we start to go off and to look at our commercial base, I think we should consider adding this bullet in.
But they have, it's been addressed though. In other words, as properties change out there and new structures being torn down, built or changed or getting building permits, they have to go through the site plan review process, which the CPC has a very comprehensive plan as far as aesthetics and what they're looking to do. And you've seen improvements along 28, it's catch as catch can right now.
Right.
Because we can't
Well-
force everybody to do it.
Right, I agree, but it is a weakness.
It's a weakness.
It's a
If we
weakness.
can get-
As it exists now.
If we can, you just said it, it's kind of all over the place, but if we can
No,
get
no,
it,
it's
become
just-
more
but
consistent.
as the properties change, and as the use of the properties change, or as the structures are going to change, the consistency is committed. We do have a plan in place. The planning commission does have a plan in place for Route 28,
Yep.
and it's being implemented.
We need to tie that plan needs to tie into our plan. I think this bullet helps tie that in.
But how, okay, just as far as the weakness, how do we propose stepping up the pace to do that?
We
So
don't.
you have to
It
have
doesn't